Hello, and welcome to a special audio-only version of Technocracy Zero Sum. The following adventure is Heather's Seeking, taking place between episodes 9 and 10. I hope you enjoy. The group of you have just left the Copernicus research station, and as the ship leaves its dock and you float out into the vast blackness of the space around you, you start to see all of these spheres that are just sitting in space. But that's not what has your attention. You have your tablet and Kibo has popped up on it. Hey,
what's up?
The thing is warm.
The
thing you just put a bunch of sparks into. It's warm.
The core? Or relic thing?
Maybe that's what it's called.
I'm not sure what it's called. I've just been calling it the magic
thing.
Warp core thing.
Mm-hmm.
I should probably check that out then.
It's probably a good idea. I don't know what to do with it. I don't know much about it. I know a little bit about it.
Well, Heather will head down to go take a look at it.
Cool. The others seem busy talking amongst themselves about whatever this is, and you head down back to the wonder, the core, the device, whatever this is. And as you approach, your new little pattern spider friend is kind of just clacking gently along behind you. It just seems to be following you right now.
Excellent.
Yeah. You get down to that room, which is still behind a blasted out wall when it exploded. And it seems to be humming.
Humming. Interesting. Can I check to see if any of the stuff monitoring it pulls up anything specific or...
Yeah.
Otherwise, I guess I'll do some scans.
Yeah. Is there anything in particular you want to do? I'm not going to make you roll for it because you have time.
I think in this case, she is looking for any... She's looking to see if it's leaking or overloading and to dangerous levels in a way that will impact the ship.
Okay.
The rest of the ship.
Yeah, it seems like it's not leaking and it's not so much overloading, but it seems to be... Have you ever experienced like a stalled out engine in a car where you kind of have that hitching noise as you try to turn the key and it goes vroom, 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 and it doesn't quite
But
start?
It's kind of revving but not turning over?
Yeah.
Kind of like...
It's kind of that feeling.
Well, we knew it wasn't going to do too much, but I guess it's time to poke it.
Yeah, whenever it made that sound before, other people would poke it, so...
Okay. Try and take a look at anything connected to it to try and, I guess, give it a nudge or a jump start.
Cool, yeah. As you look around, and you're just kind of looking through and trying to see what, might be blocking it, or if it does need just a jump start from something else, or what have you. I'm gonna ask, are you trying to understand how this was built, or are you trying to figure out how to change it so it works for you? What's Heather's mindset?
It's a bit of a mix in that she needs to know how it's constructed so that she can start adapting it to her own approach.
Cool.
Or at least enough that she can be like, I kind of think that that's what that's supposed to be. This looks sort of even remotely familiar.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and Kibo kind of chatters away at you just a little bit. It's nothing really important per se, but he's going on like, what about that piece over there? That looks loose, and then you wiggle it and it's not loose, and like he seems to be trying to help but unsure how.
Good.
Yeah.
It's basically a lot of just tinkering and checking and making sure. And if all of that fails and it seems to still be going and it's like she's stumped, I think she's just gonna give it a good old kick with a boot.
Cool. Yeah, you're really not sure what the problem might be. And so you do just give it a kick. Which Kiba goes, oh, I know that technique. The Fisher Princess used to do that a lot. And as you kick it, it doesn't like start up or anything, but you notice movement suddenly kind of inside the machinery that you hadn't noticed before.
Oh.
And looking closer at it, you realize that your kick has dislodged something that had kept this structure from turning. It had like been jammed in there or something. And it looks kind of like, I don't know if Amy's familiar with it, but it's kind of like a Pelton turbine, but small. So a Pelton turbine is, you know how water wheels kind of work, where the water like moves down into each piece and it turns and then becomes hydroelectric energy?
Yeah.
It's basically that. So it's these like cup-like containers in a wheel.
Okay.
And it's usually used for stuff like hydroelectric, but for some reason it's in here and it looks like it's supposed to be, and you're not sure why per se. But what you do see is that one of the pieces is empty. Like it looks like a full wheel of these, not really cups, but kind of, cup is the best way to describe it. It's like a little bowl cup thing. And there's a space that's empty.
And there's something that has been jamming it?
There was something that had been jamming it. Yeah, it looks
So
like...
Possibly the thingy that was supposed to be in that cup has been dislodged?
You can look around and you don't actually find that piece. So it wasn't that. But it looks like something had gotten jammed in that empty space where the cup should be. And it looks like as it kind of spins around, it catches on this thing.
Cool.
And it's not supposed to.
What happens to the ship if I shut this entire thing down so I can poke my hand in there?
The ship itself will continue moving. This particular part of it is more for the magical transport that they used to do.
Cool, so I can unplug it.
Yeah,
and disconnect. Okay, we're gonna disconnect the power to this thing.
Cool. There's a slight depowering sound that the others will probably notice, but nothing actually happens to the ship. It's just like a bit of energy has come out of it, but that's fine, and the whole thing powers down.
Cool. We're gonna try and get into that section and pull out whatever's jamming it once it stops moving.
Yeah. Once it stops moving, you can stick your hand in, and once you get your hand in there, it does seem like the piece that keeps catching is normally held, like, it's almost like it's on a spring. So, but like a very slow one. So it's not like shooting out when it hits that empty spot, but it's normally held behind these and doesn't catch at all. But then when the empty spot comes along, it kind of goes out and then gets caught. So it is supposed to be there. It's just something's supposed to be blocking it.
Right. Okay. So now that we know what that's supposed to do, even if I have no idea why it does this, cool.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Do I have anything that I think I could use to replace that?
I mean, you can go look.
Yeah, we're gonna go look, because we might end up taking something and hitting with like forces and a hammer to make it fit the shape.
Nice. Yeah, you pick up your tablet, because you don't go anywhere without it.
Oh, hell no.
And head off, and Kibo's just like, are we going on an adventure?
Yeah.
A quest? Are we questing?
Seems like.
I like questing. Excellent.
I need to find a doohickey to go in the slot.
Doohickey. Ooh.
Yeah, to block the thingamabob.
Okay. What kind of doohickey?
And she'll describe the shape of it that seemed to be, the other one seemed to be.
Yeah. It does seem very like, it's kind of like a shallow cup bowl.
It's like a little like bowl shape, kind of like a little.
Yeah, it's so the normal ones are fairly oblong and like not particularly deep, because you want it to keep overflowing and running down. But these ones, because it's a shrunken size, it's a little shorter and a little stouter, and then not really that deep. So it's maybe like, not square, but a small dish.
But like maybe a cup, like say like 6 inches kind of thing, like 5 inches, like
something like that.
Ish.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, so step 1, I guess, is find something that fits that kind of shape. I figure she probably would have done a little quick drawing sketch of it onto her tablet so that she can have a reference.
Yeah.
I think she's thinking the mess hall might be the place to look for like a something weirdly cup shaped.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. You head up to the mess hall, and so you're just like looking around for whatever you can find.
I think she's partly considering whether or not any of the rations on board are hard enough that she could turn into a weird funky paste that would turn into like a concrete. That's where we're at.
Yeah. You're like, maybe like some sort of weird, like almost flour mixture, but that would actually harden properly, like almost like a bread bowl. If you could make a bread bowl.
Yeah, so mess hall. Let's go to the kitchen.
Cool. Yeah, you get up there and, you know, no one really seems to be around or interested in what you're doing, so you can rummage through the rations, and the dishes don't seem to really match up super well. Most of them also are fairly fragile, which, you know, not super fragile because you are like in space, but like plastic that might melt in the heat.
Or like an aluminum that's just not durable enough, like it would bend immediately.
Yeah, not particularly
that kind of thing.
thick one. It's like cheap aluminum. Yeah.
Well, none of that's helpful. Maybe she'll have to go check out the med bay. Just raid Sophie's. I'm sure that'll go over great.
Right. And as you look through the rations, you kind of go, yeah, there's some stuff here that might work in a pinch, so you might like file that away and come back to it, but nothing that jumps out at you as like, yes, this is a good solution.
Yeah, like if there's any like dry powder packets, like even if it's just like a, you know those like weird bran bars that taste like nothing and have the texture of paper mache or whatever when you bite into them? Yeah, that's kind of, she'll grab, if there's any of those in like foil sealed, she'll grab a couple of them just in case, because honestly, if you leave those sitting very long, they're a rock.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you managed to grab a few of those and take them along. And Kibo's like, what's that? What'd you get?
Well, they call it food.
They call it food? Mm-hmm. Is it not food?
Let's just say if I try and bite this, I'll probably lose a tooth.
That's not good.
Yeah. Nasty.
Well, we must quest on and find the what?
Doohickey?
Doohickey. Yeah, no, I was quest. What's a good thing to quest for? Like
treasure?
Doohickey. Treasure. We could quest for treasure. Yes. Let's quest for treasure.
An all-powerful weapon to save the world and smite the evil overlord?
Yeah.
I mean, in this case, the overlord is inconvenience and structural integrity.
This is true.
Well, not integrity, but...
Yeah. Or wait, I had something for this. Grail. We could quest for the Grail. Do you know the story?
Sure. Of course I know the story. Everyone knows the story.
Okay. So we've got a, let's see, we're on the quest. What did the knights do? They quested from Camelot. Camelot, yes.
Well, Camelot's known for a big round table.
It is.
Any round tables here?
The mess hall has square tables.
Is there a meeting room? There's
not that you've come across. And not that's like labeled that way in the blueprints that I know you've read.
Right.
It's possible that there was one, but most of the time it seems the mess hall was used for that purpose.
Well, it's not a round table, but we could say the square table.
We could say the square table. I mean, if we find a round table, maybe that's what has our thing.
Oh, true.
Where's Heather heading?
Heather is still curious about to see if she can find something in the next place that might have vessel type things and possibly things to make casts. So, we're going to the med bay.
Cool, yeah. You head down to the med bay, and Sophia isn't there. So you can
Sophia.
rummage around.
Okay, we're clear.
I'll keep watch.
Good.
Kibo just kind of stares out of the tablet and is like, I can only see...
Tell us if the Dread Witch returns.
Yes, I will watch for the Dread Witch.
And Heather will go inside and we'll start rummaging around to see if anything matches or will be adaptable.
Cool. Most of what you find here is either significantly too big for the spot, which, you might be able to work it down. It is a lot sturdier than what was found in the mess hall. though there are a lot of like Pyrex things, so it's less breakable glass.
Right.
Which is also less malleable unless you work with matter a bunch. So, you know, maybe one of the others might be able to help with some of that if you really need them. There's a couple of things that look like they might work, but they also have like, they're more like mugs, heftier than the ones that are in the mess hall. But they do have handles which seem like out of place, like they wouldn't quite fit in there. But again, something that could be fixed if you needed to.
All right, I will take one of those. So we have a cup, we have some rations.
Yep.
And she's gonna take a look for any things for making like actual for casts for like if someone breaks a limb.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's some stuff there for that. It's like plaster.
All right, if I mix this with this other stuff with plaster, maybe that'll work. Who knows?
Yeah, right? You get to try a few things.
Grab some of that too.
No witch on the horizon.
Okay, we're done here.
Onward.
Let's check the maintenance closet.
Ooh, okay.
Who knows, maybe there'll just be a bucket that happens to be the right size.
Maybe. It'll be a small bucket. But maybe.
I've definitely seen very small buckets.
That's fair.
I guess at that point it's more of a pail.
Like a sandcastle pail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well then, we will fight the dragon of the maintenance closet. That's where you're going. Yes.
I think at one point as they're heading down, Heather's going to pause and is going to try to remember the blueprints she looked at and try to remember which closet is the maintenance closet and which one they put the corpses in.
Yeah, good call. I don't have a die on me. I'm going to roll you luck dice.
Okay. I think she's like, I don't know if it's going to be a dragon. It might be skeletons.
Yeah, okay. We definitely put the corpses in this faraway closet because that's why we forgot about it for a while, because we weren't going in there. And so you head up to the one that's a bit closer to the helm.
Okay. Yeah, start rummaging through it.
You open the door and it's the corpse closet. It's the temperature was lowered in there, and so the corpses aren't super rotted, but they are
gross.
They are gross, and they are starting to liquefy just a bit. You can't smell it quite yet, though. It hasn't hit because the temperature's lower.
Cool. Let's make this quick.
Are we fighting corpses?
Well, we're fighting the sludge that comes from corpses.
Ew, sludge.
Ew. Yep. That's gonna be on my boots.
Yeah, it is.
And she'll just walk in.
Cool, yeah. You walk in, you...
completely unfazed.
Yeah. You pass by people whose names you don't remember because you met them... I mean, it was a very long time ago in how much has happened since then. Not necessarily time, but just how much has happened.
And how much she didn't interact with any of them.
Yeah, exactly. You do, however, pass by the corpse of Sabian Knight, and you kind of still recognize her face. Though it's starting to lose some of its features as the eyes have sunken in.
You've looked better. It's not a good look for you. She says to the corpse.
Yeah. I will also remind Heather that Sabian was on a list of potential threatenal.
If you come back to try and kill us all, I'll be very upset. She's sort of squinting at the body.
Yeah, the corpse doesn't answer. It lies there.
You know what? That's reassuring. Let's keep going.
And you continue moving through and go to the place where the actual, stuff is.
Hey, do you think if I cut one of these skulls open and with a bone saw and bleached it and hollowed it out, that would work? It is
Maybe.
Round.
Yeah.
It's roughly the right shape, I think.
Yeah, that could work.
Keep it in mind.
You might want to harden the bone, though, because it could... I mean, if it was the perfect shape, it might work just fine, but if it's a little off, then it might, chip and...
Yeah.
Cause more problems.
Have to sand it down and encase it.
But possible.
Well, let's go, because otherwise I'm going to be cutting open skulls in the mess hall, and I don't think they'll appreciate that.
Yeah, probably not. I'll add it to the to-do list, though. A little, like, to-do list pops up on your tablet with, like, hack open skulls.
Oh, God. No one's gonna question that.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
And most of what's in this closet is stuff that, hasn't been necessary, because there are other closets with other things. Mm-hmm. And I say closet, it's more of a room, but it's not a very big room is the main thing. There's enough room for, like, some of the corpses are on top of each other and, like, a couple of piles and then a alleyway for you to reach the back. But
that's convenient.
Yeah. I mean, you guys weren't necessarily just throwing them in here completely willy-nilly.
I mean, there was 0 gravity when we put them in here originally.
This is true.
When we turned the gravity back on, I think it all went thunk.
Yep. And they all just kind of, like, landed in those heaps. So it worked out.
Yeah, worked out. Convenient.
Yeah. And as you kind of rifle through, you find a lot of spare, like... Actually, you find some spare, like, spacesuit type items. More like second skin armor, but with helmets that you think could have been used for either, like, scuba diving or spacewalking. Like, you're not actually sure which one it is, but that sort of idea. Something to keep air in.
But are they hard shell helmets or
hard shell helmets, but the suits are more soft and pliable, but would cover someone's entire body, like from neck to toes.
Probably inadvisable to hack apart a spacesuit until we are actually back home, though. But might as well tally that to a list of things that exist.
Kibo starts another list that is just like... Kibo just starts taking lists of things to remind you.
You know what? I'm happy for him.
Yeah, so that's pretty much the most useful thing you find in here. A lot of it's, spare screws and tools, but nothing really the shape you're looking for.
I will take one of the suits, though, with me, I think, if I can.
Yeah, sure.
Because why not? Yep.
Yeah, I don't have stats because I've made this up on the fly, but I'm thinking essentially it's like second skin armor, but it also protects your body from, like, the rigors of space.
I think she's mostly concerned about, like, if the current shielding fails, if this has any just defenses that, even for a couple seconds, it's better than nothing. Pretty
much, right? But that's why I'm, like, letting you know this is kind of how I envision it.
Cool.
Yeah. And where do you head next?
I think she will go and take a look at the back to the workshop area that she sort of has set up. Just to, I think, just check and see if she's forgotten about any of the stuff that they had for repairs, any sealant for like the outside or in like general repairs.
Cool.
I'm thinking like that, what's that putty stuff? You see all those not infomercials. Was it infomercials? Yeah. The, like, buy this thing, it can adhere anything to anything. It's like, put this handle back on this cup. Like, I'm sure you know what I mean. It's like a weird putty and it dries.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is, but yeah. Okay.
Like, not the Billy Mays, but that kind of idea.
Yeah. Cool. As you're kind of walking back there, your tablet kind of blips and you notice that just as you're holding it kind of out of the corner of your eye, I want to say, like, the brightness level changes.
Oh, yeah.
And if you take a look at it, Kibo's actually, like, on it, staring at a file he has opened.
Oh.
That's the blueprints of the ship.
What have you got there?
I thought I knew about a round table somewhere. Does this show tables?
Generally, no. It'll show rooms. If you remember what room it was in. Like an officer's lounge? Games room? I don't think there was a games room on here. I don't remember seeing one. I would have noticed that.
I wonder if it was one of the... It's not this. We've been here. And it kind of puts, like, little paw prints. that show up on the blueprints. It's like
This is like mapping like the paw print pathway kind of thing.
a little bit. Yeah, he's like, this is the path we've taken. And
Yeah, good.
it's like little tiny paw prints.
Wonderful.
And then rooms that you've been in have a slightly bigger paw print of just like, we've looked here.
So which ones haven't we checked?
Okay, of the big rooms, we haven't, I mean, we were, you were in the helm area. You weren't really sure what you were looking for while you were there, but I don't remember there being anything useful in there. You're going to check the workshop. Maybe the bedrooms? I mean, I don't remember there being...
They don't usually put big round tables in bedrooms.
No.
But sure, why not? Let's go check out the bedrooms.
Okay. Whose do you want to infiltrate first?
I don't know, which one's first? Like, where are we? We're here. And there's one right here, and she'll just point out the next one on the map that is the closest.
Yeah, and you head over there, and it looks to be Tegan's room. You can tell by some of the materials that are kind of spread out.
That kind of like knock knock.
Yeah.
Hey, Tegan?
She's not there.
Press button, open door. Like pure tuck head in to just kind of scan real quick.
Yeah.
Nope, no round table.
No round table. Do you check the next one over?
Yep,
This one, you knock. There's no answer. You hit the button.
check it.
Door opens. It looks to be one of the really it's really clean and tidy, and you're pretty sure it's Sophia's.
Yeah, we're not going to touch anything here.
No round table. Maybe I was wrong.
I mean, there are more bedrooms than ours.
That's true. That is true.
Remember, there were all those corpses.
There were a lot of corpses.
They had to sleep somewhere.
They did. I think a lot of them slept in like the bunk rooms. Those
Any
don't really
tables
have
in the
room
bunk
for a
rooms?
table either.
That's true.
But, well, there's
Next.
a couple more. You look in the next one. It's one that doesn't seem to have been used. So it's empty, but there's no table in there. And as you get to kind of the last one in this hall, you knock, no answer, hit the button, door opens, and you're like, oh, this is Nolan's room. And you see that Nolan's room is actually different from the others.
Oh, weird.
It's got a little bit more space, possibly because it's right next to like an area that seems to be, it's like right next to an end wall that doesn't really seem to go anywhere. So it looks like there's a couple of, I don't know, even 6 inches more room than the others. And just a weird design. It actually looks like on the blueprint too, you realize you're like, oh wait, no, this is actually part of the room. And as you look in and look around, and you see all of Nolan's like pill bottles up.
Again, very much having gloves on and do not touch.
Yeah. And right across from the door is this little round table.
Oh.
And there's what looks to be a cup sitting on it. Looks like it might be the right size.
Apparently Nolan had the Holy Grail.
What does that make
Who
him?
would have thunk? Erlen?
I don't think Merlin had the Holy Grail.
Oh, no, but they hang out in Camelot.
Eh.
He's definitely not King Arthur.
No, definitely not. But it might be Merlin.
Maybe Morgan Le Fay?
Could be.
I thought that was more Sophia, though.
Yeah. Well, there's a cup.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know if it works, but it's a cup on a round table. Maybe it's the thing we're looking for.
Might as well give it a try. Should go grab it.
Cool. Yeah. It's got like cold stale coffee in it.
Good.
But when you grab it, it's sturdy. It's definitely sturdier than most of the things that you've looked at so far. It's the right height, it's the right width, and it doesn't have a handle. At the very least, you think this could fit. You're not sure how well it will necessarily hold up, but it could definitely fit where it needs to go.
Should probably reinforce it anyway. But closer than anything else we found. Sure, let's go. And less messy than the alternatives.
But does that mean you have to eat the food, not food?
The coffee?
No, the thing you might chip your tooth on. Lose a tooth.
Probably. I mean, they're not
Oh well.
that lethal if you soak them in some water for like an hour. That is kind of weird, mushy paste.
That doesn't sound appetizing.
Oh, it's not.
Well, do you want to look anywhere else to see if there's anything else that might work before we go back?
Well, now I'm sort of curious if there's a sword hanging out in the bathtub.
I don't think this place has bathtubs.
Oh, well, that wrecks that idea then. Oh, well. Okay.
You could check the shower.
Sure, why not? Go look at the shower and see if there's a sword there. Oh, Excalibur.
There's no sword.
Yeah. Oh, well. That was amusing.
Yeah.
Do you think Nolan will notice?
Probably.
Really?
Maybe not. Maybe he'll just forget he had it.
Can always hope. Okay, let's go. He'll take it and we'll probably actually take a sip of the stale cold coffee and then be like, oh wait, what am I doing? And then we'll go and like dump it out in a sink somewhere.
Yeah, the instant it touches your lips,
it's
you're
like
just
that reflex
nope.
of, wait, what am I doing? Nope. Mistake.
This isn't even just tea I left out and let get cold, or coffee that
This is no.
just
muscle memory of cold coffee while working on things.
Yep.
So ingrained. You can't get away from it.
It's really true. And you also have that slight instinct of who knows what Nolan puts in his coffee.
Exactly. Not only is it cold and old and probably full of germs, possibly full of a whole bunch of bacteria, but also possibly full of drugs. Suspicious, strange, suspect coffee. We're not doing that.
Good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You dump out the coffee, you kind of rinse it out just so that it's less coffee-y. Mm-hmm. And less potentially filled with drugs.
Yep. Who knows what'll happen if you touch any of that, even just with like a bit of skin.
Yeah, you rinse the outside too, just to be sure.
Yep. We're using what's the word I'm looking for? Industrial grade cleaning stuff to get everything off of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, you absolutely do that, and now you have a mug and some rations and some plaster and another mug that would, might fit but has a handle, and yeah.
And I also have a spider that produces weird weave material.
Yep, you do.
I do.
Who's just kind of clicking along behind you.
And I have duct tape.
And you have duct tape.
So if I'm reinforcing this thing, I think a combination of weave spider silk and duct tape are a good combination to secure it.
Amazing. Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. This is probably going to take some tinkering to get it quite the right shape, but that's less of a worry now that we have something close. She's not making anything from scratch, and she's not bleaching the inside of skulls, so
this is a win.
This is a win, ultimately. And then you have to figure out what to do with the brains, and you'd have to explain it, and there's not really good disposal for that right now, so, would you have to put them in the freezer? And then what if someone accidentally ate it? And then we're doing, a whole other thing where it turns into a zombie apocalypse on the ship. So we do not want to do that. We are not inviting that.
You're already just involved in a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, we don't need
the
more.
Pleasure Dome.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't need another one.
Exactly.
So, do you head back to the relic device thing, or do you? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You head back there. Everyone else seems pretty busy. You haven't really come across anyone through this, but considering the ship was already a skeleton crew before everyone else died.
Yeah, this is really nice.
Yeah.
Not bumping into anybody.
Yeah. And you get back to the Wonder. So how are you going to go about doing this?
So I think if she can pull out one of the pieces from one of the other, the one that is correctly shaped as a comparison, and basically is using that as a template to sort of assemble and fix up this thing and make it match close enough.
Cool. Yeah, you can absolutely do that. You have to kind of take out the little arm piece that's also attached to it. Mm-hmm. But that's easy enough. It's just screwed in there. So.
Yeah. And she's documenting down each thing she's taking out as she does it so that she knows how to put it back in the right order. Mm-hmm. And then can repeat it with the other one.
Yeah. So you take that piece out and start kind of... You can, once it's out, you can remove it from the arm that it's attached to. Mm-hmm. And you're realizing that you're also going to have to kind of construct this arm just to have it attached. That's how it's going to be attached in there. But that should be easy enough to do even with this calcified web. Like, you could probably...
Oh, yeah. We're just gonna web these pieces together.
Yeah, basically. Describe to me just kind of what you're doing here.
So, I think because she's got all this plaster, she might actually use it to make a mold out of the piece that is the correct shape, to get a sense of what this has to line up in. So she's just working on something that is not directly into the machine. And then will work on this cup and web bits and duct tape, etc., which she will insulate and reinforce when she has it in the right shape, if she has to file it down at all, until it fits perfectly into this little mold she's made. And once that's all together, she'll probably I'm sort of imagining that she might have to crack it this casing open once she's done, just to go from how it pulls together. And then we'll pull that piece and then just reattach it back into the turbine engine thing.
Yeah, cool.
So it's a lot of absolutely. Make it match match the existing model and just duplicate.
As you're doing this, you realize that this particular mug is very, very close to what you needed. With the little bit of reinforcing, it's actually basically perfect in size.
Cool.
You build up the outside just a bit to make sure that it's,
it's snug and not loose in the...
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, it looks like you can put the original piece back in and then get this piece an arm thing made out of... And your pattern spider is happy to to give you what you need.
Very good spider. Not sure if should pat it on the head.
It kind of chitters and stamps its little front feet and nuzzles against you in a weird spider way.
God, you're so weird.
The webbing comes out fairly, I want to say liquid. It's not quite liquid, but it's not coming out calcified. So it's very
like silly string kind of like.
Yeah, it's
probably.
like silly string. Yeah. And then as you have a minute or two to form it into a shape. And it takes you a couple of tries to get the arm part right, because you're like, okay, I've kind of got to do this on the fly. And
yeah. So make it, but then she's also probably trying to sand it down a bit, and she's got some matter and forces and stuff to help kind of structure it. Yeah. She's just kind of merging it all together to be I need this specific shape. We will make it this specific shape.
Yeah, between your matter, your entropy, and your correspondence or data or whatever, you can at least have the sights and the luck to know your dimensions of this, right? So the first time you do it, you're like, okay, that's a little bigger than what I need, but it should work. I'm going to do it one more time just to see if I can do it a little better. And then you're like, no, the first one was probably perfect. And you just sand that down.
It's been a long time since you did ceramics classes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can reassemble the whole thing.
Cool.
And you spin the assembled wheel and see that piece doesn't emerge and doesn't catch, and the whole thing just spins around very nicely.
Oh, that's very pleasing to look at. Cool. Put everything back in. Plug everything, turn it back on again. Restore power. Yeah. And for good measure, give it a kick.
You give it a kick, and it kind of hums to life in a more pleasing way than it was. There's no more of that hitching sound, that kind of revving noise. And there's this panel with some buttons that have lit up, and basically a go button if you want to push it.
Well, obviously, we're going to press the button.
You push the button.
Go.
You push the button. And we're going to end your seeking there because I need to know what everyone else is up to when you hit that button.
Beautiful. I love it. It's good.
Cool. There you go.
It's good. All right. I'm going to stop the recording.
Your seeking is going to be the most technocratic of the seekings because you have the pattern idol on.
But it's also funny because she's like, yeah, we're going to go on a quest to Camelot.
I mean, yeah, it's fair. That's all for this adventure. If you're listening to this on YouTube, then this series might already be fully out, but you can find other amazing content on the Dork Tales Patreon, or join us for one of our many live shows on Twitch, or check out our backlog on YouTube. See you next time!